Well, good morning and welcome into the Real Monica Adams Show. We are live in studio. Jenny and I are here. You're here with us. It's the Real Monica Adams Show, and I am your host, Monica Adams. Thrilled to have you along with us. We are in our studios and we're waiting for our guest and a director. Just by the way, that's how our morning's gone. How has your morning gone? Sean and Julia and Jenny and Kathleen, good morning as we are just starting on. It is a beautiful day for sure. And we're going to give you the weather, some news you can use, and then cross your fingers. I hope we have a guest today because he hasn't showed up yet. So if you know Charlie Metzner, by the way, who is a firefighter and the founder of the St. Louis Hero Network, let me know where he is. My director, Zach Kimball, unfortunately, overslept, and it happens, but the show must go on, as we have always said in entertainment. So we're here with you, and we're going to give you as much as we can until we see if our guest shows up. If my guest does not show up, I'm going to do a show on perception that I've been wanting to do for a long, long time. And boy, has it been circling around me like nonstop about how important it is to understand the perception aspect. So we're going to get into what Kathleen just mentioned, which is it is absolutely gorgeous today, kind of like yesterday, but even warmer. So we're also going to talk about a question that I asked to Beckett yesterday about tornadoes. So today, look at that. 80 degrees and sunshine, 57 for a low tonight. Tomorrow, 82. I mean, we're looking at summer already, 59 for the low. Thursday and Friday, we do have chances of rain. 83, though. It's still going to be warm on Thursday, 78 on Friday. And if you're tuning in and you're outside of our immediate area, this is for St. Louis, Missouri, Southern Illinois. Saturday looks great at 73. And then we get back into some rain on Sunday as we go into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Look, that rain just continues, unfortunately. But we have unseasonably warm temperatures for sure. By the way, if you want to wish on a star, well, tonight and for the next couple of nights, it is your opportunity because meteor showers will be in the sky. So get away from the city lights, maybe get into the country area and just look up and start wishing on them. They're saying that maybe we would see one a minute streak across the sky. And if you have a good visual standpoint, you may in fact be able to see kind of that fireball in the sky as well, which would be really cool. So there's your news, the weather that I want to give you. Now, I asked Beckett this yesterday, were there any tornadoes that were confirmed in our area on Easter? Well, 4 tornadoes did touch down, but this was in the Metro East on Easter Sunday. There was an EF1 tornado that traveled just over 7 miles from near Madonnaville into southern Waterloo, and it was on the ground from 8 p.m. until 8:07, so 7 minutes, had a maximum width of 100 yards. That was an EF1 on a scale of 0 to 5. There was also an EF1 in Columbia, Illinois, that was in Monroe County, an EF1 in Millstadt, St. Clair County, and also an EF1 tornado that would be in Baldwin, not Baldwin, but Baldwin in Randolph County, Illinois. So again, all of these on the Metro East side. Did not hear, however, of any major damage. So that's the good news. Well, we mentioned yesterday the somber news about Pope Francis passing away at the age of 88. And now the Cardinals have set the date for the public viewing and for the funeral. It will take place this weekend. It will take place on Saturday. Pope Francis will be laid to rest after lying in state for 3 days in St. Peter's Basilica, where the faithful are expected to flock to pay their respects to history's first Latin American pontiff. The Cardinals met today in the Vatican Synod Hall to chart the next steps before a conclave begins to choose Francis's successor, as condolences poured in from around the world and continue to do so. According to current norms, the conclave must begin between May 5th and 10th. So the Cardinals have set the funeral for Saturday morning at 10 a.m. in St. Peter's Square to be celebrated by the Dean of the College of Cardinals. And U.S. President Donald Trump said he and First Lady Melania plan to attend, as well as Argentina's president also expected. Now, they did give a rundown of why things are exactly as they are for this. The rites, the rituals, the funeral, the burial, all explained. He will lie in state. The funeral has to be within a week of the death. The conclave begins 15 to 20 days after the death. The Pope elected within 13 days then of the conclave, and the installment mass within 5 days of election. The White House does have the flags flying at half staff, obviously in remembrance and in honor of Pope Francis. So as we continue to get more information as we lead into this weekend, we will, of course, pass that along to you. Well, I, like many of you, am allergic to red dye number 3. Now, during President Biden's term, he took that out of our food. However, now the Trump administration says it will ban other dyes from the food supply. According to a media advisory sent by the Department of Health and Human Services yesterday, the Health Secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and Food and Drug Administration Commissioner Marty McCary will share more about the plans later today. The Trump administration appears poised to take action on a broader set of petroleum-based synthetic dyes used to make food and beverages brightly colored and more appealing to consumers. Any of you have any issues with, again, the dyes that are in food? So this is all good news for us. We always talk about how we feel every time we turn around, there's a recall. Well, now there's yet another one. More than 429,000 power banks recalled after fire complaints. This just coming in. This is the Casely Power Pods. So look at the screen there. Do you have those? They could catch on fire after they overheat. They've received 41 reports of a lithium ion battery inside the power pods overheating, expanding, or catching fire while users were charging their phones, resulting in 6 minor burn injuries. The recalled Casely Power Pods are model number E33A. Casely, by the way, is engraved on the front side of the plate on the right side, and the model number E33A is printed on the back. So if you have those, you may want to go and check to see if you can get a refund. You don't always get refunds, unfortunately, when they have these recalls. Well, you think you go to Taco Bell and you eat Mexican food, right? However, a lot of these restaurants are changing up what they have to pull business away from other fast food chains. And evidently, the chicken nuggets were very popular. I don't know. Have you had these, folks? Taco Bell bringing back this popular menu item. Chicken nuggets will be available at Taco Bell restaurants nationwide starting this Thursday. At this time, the chain promises there won't be a near instant sellout. That's what happened. The nuggets will only be available for 8 weeks. But if they're as popular as they were last time, Taco Bell says they could become a permanent menu item next year. They first introduced the chicken nuggets last December, and the demand was so unbelievably high, they sold out in about a week. Did you have them? Did you eat them? Are they anywhere near as good as a chicken fast food restaurant? I just think it's crazy, right? Anytime you've ever gone to Taco Bell, you just think burritos, right? Tostada, an enchilada, chicken nuggets. Okay, I would think leave them to the other chains, but they're hopping on board trying to take it away from you. All right, I was not familiar with this comedian. You may be. Ben Schwartz and Friends coming to Stiefel Theater, and they're expecting these tickets to sell out pretty quick, so be sure to get them. Actor and comedian Schwartz bringing his improv comedy show to St. Louis. The Ben Schwartz and Friends 2025 Improv Tour will be at the Stiefel Theater on September 21st. Tickets start at $35.50. They go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. and you can get those at Ticketmaster.com. All right. Are you a teacher? Do you know a teacher? Well, be sure to spread the word to them about this. Teachers are going to get a free car wash coming up next month, which is Teacher Appreciation Month. And let's just shout out to every teacher that's ever changed our lives. You're going to get some freebies at Waterway. Every Wednesday in May, teachers will be able to receive a free Hot Wax Express car wash, 10 cents off per gallon of gasoline at participating fuel locations, a free fountain or hot beverage at locations with a convenience store. To receive the freebies, teachers need to show a valid school ID to staff. No fake IDs, teachers. And you can go to Waterway Car Wash to get all of that information. All right. Did you stay up and watch the Blues game? I went to bed as there was about 17 minutes left in the third period. I was hoping that maybe if I went to bed that they would pull out a win. Didn't happen. But how about Jimmy Snuggerud? Scoring his first Stanley Cup playoff goal, his second of his NHL career. Unfortunately, the Blues lost to Winnipeg. The final score, as you can see, was 2-1. So now we're 2 games down, but they're bringing it back to St. Louis. The Blues will be in action. This is actually a later game. It'll be on Thursday. Game time puck dropping at 8:30. And then the next one will be a noontime game on Sunday, Jets and Blues. So if you're going downtown, expect it to be very busy, and hopefully we get a lot of money into our economy and keep the Stanley Cup playoffs going strong. The Cardinals, unfortunately, losing as well. The Braves beat the Cards 7-6. It's the Cards and the Braves today, first pitch at 6:15, and then the same two teams tomorrow at 11:15. And then in our National Day of, what's taking place today? School Bus Driver Appreciation Day. We were just talking about our teachers. Let's thank those school bus drivers getting your kids safely to school. National Jelly Bean Day. Oh, I like Jelly Bellies. Haven't had those in a long time. National Girl Scout Leaders Day. And it is National Earth Day. Mother Earth, let's take care of her for sure. And that's how we do it. If you're new to the show, we give you some news you can use, things that maybe you're talking about with your family, or you're going off to work and saying, hey, I heard this, I heard that. Also, feel free to drop in any comments. Good morning to Stephanie. Jenny's dropping in a bunch for you. Kathy, good morning. And we'll hop over onto our other platforms as well. As I mentioned, today's show was to honor our heroes, our firefighters, our police, our paramedics, EMTs, our veterans, our military veterans as well. Charlie Metzger was scheduled to be our guest, and I'm going to give him a shout out because I don't know if they got called to a fire or what, but he's not here. So we will talk a little bit about it. We may shift gears and do a segment I've been wanting to do for a long, long time that has to do with perception. It's been, as I said, circling around me for a long time now about how people perceive things, how they react, and we can be really interactive with you. It is 7:13, and again, we're going to try to get in touch. If somebody knows Charlie, you're watching this morning, you were expecting to see him on with us, well, you might want to give him a call and ask him if he overslept, or somebody can let me know if he by chance got called to a fire, because he is a firefighter, but he's also the founder of the St. Louis Hero Network, which, by the way, they are a nonprofit organization. We're going to hear a video about what they do, and we're going to honor a dear friend of ours, Brian McKenna, who was a brand ambassador for the St. Louis Hero Network. So don't go anywhere. We will give them some notoriety and maybe have to go more in depth with them coming up on a future show.
Carroll House is now the contemporary furniture design center.
We now have the largest selection of the latest ultra-modern furniture.
Sleek European designs, unique metals, bold lacquers, plush fabrics, and retro styles.
Modern furnishings with exclusive collections only at Carroll House.
Plus free financing, free delivery and setup, and free in-home design.
Visit the St. Louis Center for Contemporary Design inside our 3.5-acre showrooms at Carroll House.
Because you like nice things.
Discover your full potential with a personalized styling experience. Designing, customizing, and transforming the looks of men and women. Revamp your individual style and embrace what makes you, you. That's real confidence.
Wow, I just got off live with the real Monica Adams. What a wonderful experience. I don't watch news because of all the negativity that it brings and the way it drives me emotionally to a place I don't really like to feel. So to be a part of a show that has a sole purpose of bringing positivity to the community, and then with the desire to just build people up, it has been one of the greatest joys, one of the greatest experiences that I've had a chance to be a part of when it comes to being a guest. This studio, it is fantastic. As I watched my show before I came in, I saw the lighting and I was impressed by the way this room is lit, but it is so warm and comforting to be in here. Whether you're a guest or a viewer, this show is a must watch, a must be a part of, and just continue doing great things out there, Monica. You are changing lives every day.
The St. Louis Hero Network was founded by first responders and veterans with the mission to support local heroes, their families, and their businesses. As more first responders and military personnel embark on new endeavors to provide for their families, the St. Louis Hero Network provides a trusted place to find and hire them. This comprehensive resource network and employment marketplace aims to connect our heroes with those seeking their services. Hiring a hero from the network is an opportunity to honor them for their dedication, commitment, and service. We in turn invest back into our members to help their business flourish. Beyond the network, we have raised nearly $2 million to support families of heroes in their time of need and provided hundreds of meals to first responders across the region. We have worked with local and state leaders to dedicate memorial signs and ensure our fallen heroes are never forgotten. Be a hero, hire a hero.
Okay, how cool, right? Have you ever heard of them? I have, obviously working in the business for a long time. And Katie Corman, by the way, shout out to you. She left Fox 2 and she's been living her best dream and her best life ever since she's been a part of this nonprofit organization. But can we give a shout out to every police officer, every firefighter, every paramedic, EMT, every veteran that has served for us, because those are the true heroes. But you know, when they get out of their industry, it then becomes, what do they do? And we want to continue to give back to them. So what the St. Louis Hero Network does is be able to let you know. They're a network to tell you about all of these hero first responder owned businesses. And then they get you hooked up with them. So if you want to continue to give back for what, hold on one second, folks. There we go. If you want to continue to give back to what they do for you on a daily basis, this is what you do. You go to the St. Louis Hero Network, and let me show you their website and where you can follow them on social media as well. So at STL Hero Network, the website is stlheronetwork.com. And they've got a golf tournament coming up in June that we'll talk about as well. But their mission is unbelievable. And I know there's a lot of people that will go up and thank a first responder for what they are currently doing or what they do. But my whole thing, being the wife of a police officer, is taking care of their spirits, their minds, their souls when they leave the industry that they've known for their entire career. Then they want to get into something else. Maybe they get into construction, maybe they're doing this or that. And then it's all about us taking care of them and saying that we want to be there for them and continue to give back to them. And this is the way they do it. I love the Hero Network. And as I mentioned, they have a golf tournament that is coming up, and this is in June. So let's let you know about that. Always remembering, and I love that big teddy bear, Reed Lowe, doing the auction for them, as he's always giving back as well. The Michael V. Langsdorff Memorial Police Fire EMS Scholarship Golf Tournament and Dinner is coming up in June. It'll be June 4th. So mark this on your calendar. They've got online registration going on right now. So you can see foursomes, $700, $70 for the dinner. It's going to be at Tapawingo, the golf club, which is located on Gary Player Drive. Again, registration includes golf and a cart fee, the putting green, all the good things that you would expect from a charitable golf tournament. So 9 a.m. registration, 10 o'clock shotgun start. They'll have a cocktail hour and then the dinner at 4:30. And I'm going to bet that Reed Lowe will be doing the auction again and raising big money for our heroes. So if you or someone you know is a golfer, have them get involved in this one to honor, again, the lives that are lost, the lives that sometimes are completely profoundly impacted by injuries that happen while they're on duty. But again, you hear that word hero. They are our amazing heroes. And today we were hoping to talk and sit down and talk with Charlie Metzner, who is the founder of the St. Louis Hero Network. I sent him a message and I was like, did you oversleep? It must be the theme of the day, oversleeping, or he's a firefighter, so he may have been called to a fire, not sure. But I did want to honor them and let you know about the organization if you're not familiar with them, just to give you a little bit about them. We are going to show you some slides about a brand ambassador who was a big part of the St. Louis Hero Network, and that being Brian McKenna. I'm also going to talk about Brian McKenna Day, and I'm super excited because we are going to sit down with his best friend, Babs, Barbara. She is going to be with us on May 5th. And so I'm hoping that this gets back to her about us talking about her dear friend today. Let me also tell you about something coming up that I want you to be a part of, the 3rd annual Dudes Playground Poker Run. That's at 12 o'clock on June 21st. That's, of course, on Kaskaskia Road in Waterloo, Illinois. $10 per poker hand, all vehicles welcome, 50-50. And as we are talking about our veterans, this one helps our veterans, our disabled veterans, a respite for them, an amazing space where they can come and relax, go fishing, have a wonderful lunch, and that camaraderie of those that understand, right? We get it. You see there right there at the bottom. The thing that I love about this is all vehicles. We're not just talking about motorcycles. We're saying everybody can come out to this. Free food, free entertainment, sparklers display at 9:15 p.m. So mark that one on your calendar. We have some other incredible mobile Monicas coming up that we'll tell you about when we return. This is my wonderful role model, one of my best friends.
She's, oh my gosh, you got a long life. You could probably live to be 130 or something. And I said, oh God, I hope not.
It's getting hot in here. Don't take off all your clothes.
I'm not going to take off my clothes. On the radio tape, going to be
Kansas City, Kansas City, here I come. We're gonna speak. We're not gonna spank anybody. We're gonna speak about knowing your value, and then I'm gonna
I'm going to spank them.
if you don't know your value and you don't grab hold of how important you are, I'm gonna spank you. Folks, you never know what you're gonna get with her.
Hi, I'm Brian McKenna, a proud brand ambassador for the St. Louis Hero Network, a nonprofit that promotes businesses owned by firefighters, police officers, EMTs, and veterans. Through fundraisers like golf tournaments, hero runs, dine-outs, and other events, we are able to provide financial support to first responders and their families in time of need. As the brother of a former police officer, I understand the challenges that these brave men and women encounter, and I know the uncertainty their families face every time their hero puts on the uniform. Join me in supporting those who serve St. Louis and honor the heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice protecting the place we call home. For more information, go to stlheronetwork.com. Be a hero, hire a hero.
Oh, that man. Let me just go on and on and on about how incredible Brian McKenna is. So if you haven't heard by now, Brian McKenna tragically lost his life in a car accident in South City, a place that he knew, that he loved. He was all about lifting up so many different charities, always there to lend a helping hand to anyone. And after dealing with skin cancer for so long, since 2014. He was getting ready to have another surgery, and there's just so many things that people are wondering, like, why? Someone like this, why would they be taken? Yesterday we were talking with Marietta Devine, Marie, the girl of prayer, and I said, so many times it's easy to question, and we never have the answers to it. And then there's times where you say, do you turn away from your faith, or do you lean in even more? In these times, McKenna's family, I had a chance to sit down with them and be with them over the last week, and a lot of planning taking place for the Brian McKenna Day. He was a huge brand ambassador for the St. Louis Hero Network that we're talking about today. He was there for them, as were so many others since the organization has began, but at every single event. So the entire St. Louis area, metropolitan area in Illinois, and people I'm sure that will come in from all over, because in the sports world, he did impact so many. He is going to have his own day, and rightfully so. And we're going to be there. In fact, if you go to TheRealMonicaAdams.com and go to our calendar of events page, you will see the Brian McKenna Day that we will be there for. So if you have not heard, it's coming up on May 31st. And there's a lot of work that's being done right now behind the scenes to get ready for that day. If people want to donate, if you have any questions about it, or you're just saying, I got to be out there, I got to invite everybody. There's t-shirts that are being sold right now and money being raised for all these incredible charities that Brian was behind. Brian McKenna Day, again, coming up on May 31st. So mark that one on your calendars. And then don't forget May 5th. I announced this the other day. So spread the word to all that knew Brian that we're going to be sitting down on May 5th right here in our studio. Babs is coming in. Babs was his best friend, and a show that he and Babs had started a while back, actually almost around the exact same time that we started this show. Brian and Babs is how it started. Then it became Babs and Brian Show, and it was every Thursday at 4 p.m. And the two of them sat down and they just talked about life, and it was so unbelievably popular, and there's so many people connected with it. So many people loved the relationship between the two of them. That's what I love the most. So we're going to talk about that. For those of you that don't know Babs, I'm going to make sure that you do and that you're going to fall in love with her. And then we've talked about me going to her house, which is going to be the most amazing honor, but it's probably going to be very emotional, to sit in the chairs where she and Brian sat every Thursday at 4 p.m. and just being a big goofball. So I'm going to go through and find out the things that are going on in South City, and we'll Brian, in Brian fashion, he would talk about STDs, and it's not what you think. It was, I'm going to say the word, shit do, right? When we talk about things to do for the weekend, that's what he called it. Brian, your humor is unmatched, and I hope I can do you honor as I sit with your best friend on what she was saying. She wanted to do one last show, and it got back to her that I would love to sit down and talk with her. And at that point, it became her saying, that's it. That's the show. I want to do Monica's show. And boy, was I just lit up when I found that out. So Babs is coming on with us on May 5th, and then I'll be on her show on Thursday. And yes, somebody said, oh, it was so cute that she thought that her show was a real show. And I was like, it was a real show. I loved what they did together. And boy, so did you, because they had thousands and thousands of people that would watch and just feel so fulfilled. So let me make sure I have this correct for you. May 15th. Yes, May 15th, it will be Babs and I and a 4 o'clock show sitting down. And I'll make sure that we go and broadcast live on our channels. We're also trying to figure out if there was a way for us to get it onto Brian's Facebook page. Facebook or Meta has turned that into a memorial or a remembrance page, but we're trying to see if we can get into it and bring it back to life and keep his vibe alive. He was all about your vibe attracts your tribe. Well, now we're doing the whole keep the vibe alive thing, right? Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I'm going to run down some big events that we have coming up, because all of you maniacs that love to come to all of our mobile Monicas, I need you to mark these on your calendar. We're going to run through those. We'll also talk about our big trip coming up to Texas. Yes, we are doing a travel takeover show in Fredericksburg, Texas. And these are going to be things that we're going to start doing all throughout the United States. So start thinking about where you would like for us to shine the spotlight. Some really cute, quaint towns, cities, maybe we've never heard of. I had not heard of Fredericksburg, Texas, until my friend Angelina, who's coming down from Texas to join us, as well as a viewer on Instagram who told me about Wine Barrel Cabins, and that's where we'll be staying. Did you see that? Last week, we interviewed the Wolcott family. They're the ones behind it, and I can't wait to do the show and tell next Tuesday morning. We are tripping 14 hours to go to Fredericksburg, Texas. And we're reaching out to a lot of different people to see if they want to be a part of our travel takeover. So we'll run down that and some other big things coming up. And then I'm just going to tease the perception aspect just a little bit because I think we need to go in depth in this. But I want to make sure that you know that that's coming up so you can interact a little bit more. Again, so sad that we don't have Charlie Metzner here today. Again, not sure if he overslept or where he is, but at least we talked a little bit about the St. Louis Hero Network and the incredible organization that they have and how they're giving back and continuing to support all of our heroes. So don't go anywhere.
Hello everyone, Joe Thomaser with Weingarten Vineyard here. Just had a great day at the set of the Real Monica Adams show. I think the biggest takeaway and the biggest word for the day for me is passion. You can see with her craft of how passionate that she is to provide a different view from what she had done in her past career, now in a new career. She made today so easy, and it was easy for me as well, because we share that passion for what we do. When it's doing interviews on set, giving a different view on life, essentially, and different experiences for you guys. Today could not have gone better. I most definitely encourage you guys to continue to tune in to her shows, and maybe you'll see me back again. You will see me back again. Sorry, Monica.
Outdated and old. Can you help?
Let's take down this wall and add a support beam there.
Or just replace the furniture.
I love it.
New sofa, chaise lounge, and tables from Carroll House.
What about this bedroom?
Let's tear down this wall.
Or a new bed, dresser, and accessories.
It's like a whole new room.
Get free in-home design, fast free delivery, and free financing too. Skip the remodel. Add new furnishings from Carroll House for your new perfect room. Because you like nice things.
Well, welcome back, and thanks again for tuning into the Real Monica Adams show. Woo, what a roller coaster today. So Jenny is actually going to join me to talk a little bit about perception, and I don't want to go too in depth into this, and the reason why is I want it to make sure that it gets its justice. Like, we literally have to have that as the title of the show, like I used to do when it was just you and I together. Remember that? That's how this show started. It was just so powerful of how you all would interact. And what happened is on a daily basis, you all would say, can you cover this? Can you cover that? I had scribbles all over my desk, Jenny, this is funny, of a notepad of this person wants me to cover purpose and pain. This one wants me to cover caregivers. And it was, by the way, I heard this morning on the news, and I think we do have to address this, depression. And I heard on CBS radio this morning that depression numbers are up with children as young as 10 and then young adults and into adults. But why, folks? This is interesting. I understood it during the pandemic because everybody was isolated. You were at home. Kids were away from school, their friends. Nobody could see each other. People lost loved ones. They couldn't be in the hospital. I get that, right? But we are now removed by, 3 years since we were really in the heart of it all. So why is depression lasting? I think this is interesting. And if you have any comments on that, feel free to weigh in. But perception is what we're going to talk about in just a second. How excited are you for all these mobile Monicas we have coming up?
I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Do you know Jenny, by the way? I hope you do. Jenny is my personal assistant, Jenny Egan. She also moderates for you. She puts a lot of the content and stuff together. She's a busy bee for me, and I love you for that. I love her family. Did you have a good Easter, by the way?
We did. We had a fantastic Easter.
You had the cutest pictures. Your girls are just adorable.
Oh, thank you.
I love them. And by the way, her daughter wants to be on the show, so we're going to make that happen. No, it's cool. We started these Foodie Fridays, and she wants to do something with me where we talk about cooking for kids. Maybe even more so, making sure that the kids are involved in the prep and understanding what they should be eating. I'm really big on the nutrition side of teach very young, but we're talking about like having things made for when they come home.
That's right.
Instead of eating bad things, right?
That's right.
And she's come up with some fun stuff.
She has. She's working hard behind the scenes.
I love her. Okay, so shout out to her entire family. And stepping in real quick today because we don't know what happened to Charlie. But again, Charlie's a firefighter, so he may have been called in and he couldn't let me know.
Of things. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, that's the main thing. But again, Hero Network, you had not heard of them, had you?
I had not, no.
Nor had my husband, who's a police officer.
I was digging into information, just being able to moderate, and it's wonderful.
Yes, it really is.
I mean, everyone needs to know about that.
They do. So the St. Louis Hero Network, and again, if you're just tuning in, let's go ahead and put this up so that you know where to follow them online as well as on their website. And as I mentioned, our dear friend Brian McKenna, a great brand ambassador for them. Reed Lowe does all the auctions. So it's stlheronetwork.com. And again, don't forget about that golf tournament coming up in June, mvlgolftournament.com. We know a lot of people who like to golf. Don't you have golfers in your family? Does your brother golf?
My brother's a golfer.
Yeah.
McKenna wants to golf now.
Oh, she does?
Andy likes to golf.
Oh, well, here we go. We got to get everybody out there. Anybody who loves to golf,
that's right.
Let's do it. Oh, Richard just said depression is a silent killer. That it is.
It is.
Depression, as we know, leads to many things. A lot of times it leads to addiction. It leads to isolation. It leads to shame and fear and anxiety. All the things that we talk about in our books. It leads to overeating. A myriad of things, unfortunately.
Yes.
But I found it interesting. I did not expect to hear that. I thought it was going to go in the opposite direction. I don't know if it's what's happening in the world. I hope it's not the political realm, but the stock market. I mean, all these things. So it's how do we rise above that? But yeah, very interesting. Again, if you're tuning in and you see my title saying that we're talking about the Hero Network, we did for about the first 20 minutes or so of the show. And I'd love to have Charlie on in the future, but no Charlie today. We don't know what happened to Charlie.
Maybe next time.
Yes, it's a day of sleeping in. I'm going to tease Zach. Zach's never done it, by the way. And so he gets a pass today. But I know that I don't know if he just like woke up or if he heard his alarm going off and didn't hear it.
I don't know, but that's an awful feeling.
It is, right?
I feel so bad for him.
I know. And here's the deal. Okay. So he's not going to get reprimanded. He's not going to be fired. It happened though, Jenny, in my radio career. I had to fire someone because my boss came to me and said, you have to let him go. But he did it 3 or 4 times. And then I think he also had an alcohol problem. And so, but I had to do it. It was my first time of ever having to fire someone. And I was like, no. And he goes, Monica, really in a news director role, you're going to have to do this. And I was like, oh God, I have to let you go. And this is how it was.
Really sorry.
He's like, I totally understand. But he did. Oh, it was the best. And I never had to fire anybody.
People purposely
they want to.
If they don't like a job.
He didn't. He really did enjoy, but he knew. He was like, okay, they can't give me any more passes. I mean, how many of you feel bad, right? You're like, oh my gosh, I missed my alarm. But we told him, I'm like, you got to have another alarm. He goes, I have 3. I was like, oh, that means you need to stop drinking at night. He had 3 alarms. Other people throw the alarm across the room. They take their phone, they bash their phone in. But yes, has it ever happened to you? Just be honest, be real. We're all about being authentic here. How many of you have overslept and missed the beginning hour? First hour, 30 minutes, just running a little bit late. But he called. I actually thought he was here. I was in the other room getting ready for the show like I do. And I was like, oh, Jenny and him must be having a great time. Jenny's not in here.
I was waiting for him. I was putting everything together for the show. And I was like, looked down at the clock and I was like, oh, I wonder where Zach is.
Well, my phone started vibrating because I have my phones off to get ready for the show. And I hear,
I was ready to help him. I was waiting.
Zach. And I was like, oh, and why is he calling me from the other room? You can come walking in. And he's like,
Zach, I hope
sorry.
you're laughing right
I
now.
know, right? He's like, sorry. Go ahead and type something in if you want to, Zach. He said, I'm so sorry, but I just left. And he doesn't live close, by the way. So he's like, I'll be there a little after 7. So if you watch the beginning of the show, I was operating it off of right here, which, by the way, are you all not impressed with the way technology is?
Unbelievable.
Well, no, it's just crazy that we can run an entire
Yeah.
show off of a really good Mac computer with a good camera and a good microphone. Did you say it was a little
It was a little echoey, but you know what we were working with? It was perfect.
Yeah. So by the way, folks, that's what happened this morning. Okay, let's see. Richard said, yes, this morning. Didn't wake up until 7:25 and felt like the world was coming to an end because I missed the first 20 minutes. Well, the beauty of streaming is you can go back and watch at any point. But come on, everybody, give him a shout out and say, Zach, it's okay. I've been there, done that. Hey, Mighty Joe, I don't know if he's still on, but Mighty Joe just signed on to Instagram, and I worked with him over at KSTK, one of the best photographers
Mighty
in
Joe.
the business.
I love his
Mighty
name.
Joe Young.
Oh.
Mighty Joe, one of the best photographers, videographers in the business, but hands down, he was one of the best. Okay, so we're going to talk about perception in just a bit. We're only going to do it for just maybe 10, 15 minutes because I told Jenny, I don't know why, but it's kind of like, to me, it's like a message from above. When something just keeps hitting and hitting and hitting, it's like, oh, okay, you want me to talk about that?
Yeah.
And perception, it's just been a running theme in my life. And I wonder if it has been, or if it's gotten in, you or your family or friends, coworkers into any arguments of how something is perceived. But before we do that, we are going to Fredericksburg, Texas. You're not.
You are.
I tried to get her. Did I not? Bad.
You
I
did.
tried to get her. She's got some other responsibilities that she can't walk away from next week. So I told her, I'm like, don't worry, because it's just the beginning. It's the beginning of many things to come.
But it's
Don't you agree?
really cool.
That's okay.
trip.
Well,
I'm so
well, I
sad.
was talking to somebody yesterday and they said, well, you should make this a thing for 2026.
Should.
Because I have a feeling that 2 days isn't going to be enough.
Should.
I dove so deep into Fredericksburg, Texas yesterday.
There's so much to do there. So as I've been helping you behind the scenes, I'm like, oh, I want to go.
I know.
So many cute boutiques, restaurants. I had no idea there was that much to do there. And where you're staying is just the most epic part of the whole thing.
I don't know if you all saw that last week. If you haven't, go back and watch the show that we did last Thursday. It was with Josh Carey and Lena Wolcott. They are the owners of Wine Barrel Cabins. And I tell you what, I even had people reach out to me that were about 25 to 30 minutes away, 45 minutes away, that said, we didn't even know about this.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding.
No, I think that's what's cool. So the more we
Yeah.
hashtag Texas and Fredericksburg or High Texas, these areas, San Antonio, Austin. By the way, somebody did ask, what's it closest to? You can fly into San Antonio or Austin, or you could be like us and drive 14 hours. Crazy. Woo-hoo. No, it'll be fun. I
It'll
haven't
be
been on a
fun.
road trip in a long, long time.
Well, let's hope you enjoy it. It's not a short one.
No, so Jim said, you probably have to help me out with about 3 hours of driving. And I said, oh, I think I need to help you with more than that. The longest he and I have done is 8 hours, which is from here to Birmingham.
I'm surprised he's letting you drive.
He didn't used to. That means he trusts
Andy
me
doesn't
now.
let me drive.
At all?
No.
So, well, he can't drive 14 hours by himself.
he
he would have.
does. He does. And we'll go
Oh.
through the night too.
Oh,
Like when we head to Florida.
wow.
So of course I'm like, don't get any sleep either because I'm like, are you
Right.
sure?
My mom and Zach will be in the car with us. I don't think he'll let Zach drive. Sorry, Zach. I don't think he'll let you drive. I don't know, maybe, but he is going to let me take about 3 of those hours off of him. And then we'll leave about 2 o'clock in the morning. And then we'll get in hopefully by 4 or 5 o'clock is what we're thinking. I want to give a shout out to Easy Peasy Pizza in Fredericksburg, Texas. Oh my gosh, I looked at their website.
It's good.
Check them out. If you live in Texas, we'll give a little shout out to Easy Peasy Pizza. And then for Wine Barrel Cabins, we will be broadcasting live from there on Tuesday, the 29th. Next Tuesday morning, be sure to tune in for that because we will be coming to you live inside of a wine barrel.
Wine barrel.
I mean, they're huge.
Like you have to go back to the last show and just watch it.
Yeah, that last
because you
Thursday.
just like it's literally a wine barrel. The shower
It's
is
so cool.
amazing.
Yep.
Like everything is
I'm
just
gonna
the
put-
grounds around it even are
It's so pretty.
gorgeous.
They have 4 cabins right now. So they're named after like a wine flight. So you would do a Cabernet, a Tempranillo, a Rosé, and a Chardonnay. And then they have the Hickory House,
Yeah.
which sleeps about 8 to 10 people. So if you wanted, I think this would be cool for a small family
I
reunion.
agree.
Or they said they're doing like bachelorette parties
Or
out
you
there.
could do like a corporate team bonding
yep.
there, like
couples.
everything.
Yes. So
I mean, it's definitely the ultimate couples getaway.
absolutely. So
It's
we're
very
taking over
pretty.
the property, and they said that they want us to bring swimsuits.
Yeah, they said they had a waiting pool for you.
I was like,
So we need to pack Jim a rubber ducky inflatable so he can sit there and just wait away.
Sure. I'm going to
got
put
you,
that
Jim.
picture on social media. So, okay. So next week, when you tune in, it'll be Monday through Thursday that we'll be in Texas. So what I'm hoping to do is kind of grab a bunch of videos from so many different places and do a recap video of all the different places that we're able to go to. They have a really cool Pacific War Museum, the Pioneer Museum, great hiking. As Jenny said, they have boutiques, they have great eateries, and over 100 wineries.
Really?
Yes.
100?
Yes, it blew my mind. Isn't
St.
it?
Louis needs to step it up.
It's nuts. Yeah,
That's
so
crazy.
within about a 25 to 40-minute radius of Fredericksburg, Texas, High Texas is actually a lot of those. They have a ton. And then my friend Angela, she is friends with the owners of Allstott Brewery. So shout out to Allstott. I'm hoping we get a chance to feature you. I looked at their website and it looks like you're sitting in a hall in Germany, like a beer hall. I'm telling you, you're going to miss out.
She just keeps rubbing it in.
No, I want you to know that we have more to come. So it's literally what I'm saying is it's just the beginning of things to come for you. So if you're just tuning in, again, we've covered a lot of different things in the show. We had to shift gears, and this is what you do. Okay. So before I get through all this, besides next week, we are loading up, and I think we've got maybe one more coming in the month of May. So May 17th, Weingarten Vineyards in St. Genevieve.
Can't wait.
You will be at that.
I will be at that.
And she's going to stay there, right? You're going to be in a cabin.
I will.
It just won't be a wine barrel. May 17th. So we will be sitting down with Joe Thomaser, Sharon Thomaser, the family behind Weingarten Vineyards. We're going to be there at noon, by the way. So get all your family and friends and come out to the winery with us that day. We'll do the broadcast and then the band will start right after that. May 21st, Dr. Shadi Hawatma, who was on with us yesterday.
He's amazing.
Isn't he? And then hopefully, if you haven't seen the reel that I put together, be sure to check that out because he talks about how the media is saying, here's perception, right? How the media is saying that it is the first ever pill. And he's like, no, it's not. There was one back in 2018.
You know what I appreciate about him? He is so educated.
And real.
And he's so smart. Honestly, if you have a chance to get in there.
Osiris Medspa.
Yes, go while she's live because the staff is friendly. He's amazing.
Yep.
Like, it's gorgeous too.
It is. So if you have not heard of them, Osiris Med Spa, I'll have Jenny's with me right now, so she can't moderate for you, but I'll have her drop in Osiris Med Spa for you. I'll have her drop in Weingarten Vineyards for you, so you know how to get to all of those. Osiris Med Spa, he said that he's mostly got people coming from the lasers that he has, the weight loss aspect. Right now he does semaglutide. The pill is from Eli Lilly that they're talking about having out for diabetics next year, early 2026. From a weight loss standpoint, it could be out earlier. But again, it's we've been talking about these GLP-1 drugs, but it's going from talking about peptide and non-peptide. So we'll discuss myths about weight loss with him in our first show. And then we're also going to talk about the cool peel, which I can't wait to do. I've been scared, but I'm doing it. You've had a cool peel done?
I have not, but having a cosmetology license, I love researching that stuff.
The way it makes you glow.
It's so good for you. And he is so, again, educated on what is truly right for you and what is not.
I've been not worried. I've had people in the past that have said, you should have this done. Monica, you're going to love it. And then I was like, but I've been told it feels like a rubber band smacking you in the face. It does,
but it's temporary. And you know what? Pain is beauty.
Well, I was going to say, I do have a high pain tolerance, so I'm surprised I'm being a baby right now.
You'll be fine.
Kathleen, Fredericksburg has so many great places to visit. You need more than a few days to experience the town.
Yeah.
So Kathleen, you've been there. Are you going to go back? If you do go back, support those that are supporting us. So support the Wine Barrel Cabins, Coordinates Winery. Hi, Austin. Let's also talk about Alla Campagna, Otto, and Caliche Coffee. So we're going to come to you live from Caliche Coffee Wednesday morning, the 30th, and then we'll be having dinner. So Otto and Alla Campagna, by the way, are getting rave reviews, like nationally.
Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Italian and German that
I'm
they have there.
excited to see those.
And now we're just going to fill in the blanks with all the rest. Yeah. You know I'm going to be shopping.
I have a feeling you're going to leave this trip being like, but wait, there's more.
Well, we will, because we're going to be shooting like crazy on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, you probably could have gone a whole week.
Well, I know, but this is how it originally got set up. We are going to have to leave early on Thursday morning. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, it's going to be fun. So next week, Texas, then into May, again, May 17th, May 21st, May 28th, we will be doing The Vault, another makeover show. So we're going to be posting how many of you would like to be a part of that. Do you want to be one of our makeover models? You're going to come in the way you're used to dressing and then watch what happens as the ladies put you in different outfits and what they envision would be you. And it's fun to do as long as you just let go.
It is fun.
Like sometimes people are like, I don't know if that's me. Let others around you who have
Gotta
never
step
met you.
outside your box.
Well, yeah. And if we don't know you and we say, no, that looks amazing on you, listen, because, right, the best is a person who's a complete stranger to you.
Yeah.
Because they have nothing to gain.
For sure.
With that to say, no, or, oh, yeah, that looks great.
Yeah.
And then there's one more that we're working on. It's a place that's supposed to have a grand opening. I'm not going to mention it yet because it may not happen, but it's supposed to be maybe the beginning of May. So we've got 3 for sure that I just mentioned to you. In June, you're excited about June 5th, we have Jay Bloom, the behind the scenes.
Love Jay Bloom.
Pull the curtain back. We're going to be inside, and you know a lot about this.
Yes, and I just think everything that Jen and Brett have to offer deserves a behind-the-scene tour. Everything is made right here with their hands, engraved.
And a ton of people
the story
working.
behind this business is incredible.
Which we did. If you look back a couple of weeks ago, we interviewed Jennifer Bonacorsi, who is the owner of Jay Bloom, but now she's bringing us into her warehouse.
Yeah.
Would you call it a warehouse? Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going into there, and follow them, by the way, on social, Jay Bloom, because they have a really cool thing. They were just putting all these bags together.
Yes.
Was it for a children's hospital or a hospital?
No, it's the heels and it's the gala that's coming up. I'm sorry, I cannot think of the name right now. It's
But who does it benefit? Because I thought I saw hospital bags or something like that.
I'll have to go back. And look. I'm not 100%.
But she's very big on
this. She is
giving back.
Huge into the community of giving back and helping however her and Brett can. That is just who they are.
Shout out to Jay Bloom, by the way. Again, we'll drop a little. Oh, Jennifer, by the way, just signed on to Instagram.
Oh, well, there
hey,
you go.
Jennifer, tell us, what is the gala that you have coming up? I'll keep looking over to Instagram. But yes,
wonderful.
Shout out to her. Cannot wait to be with her and Brett and everybody else coming up on June 5th. It's a Thursday, and that one's going to be a 12:30 p.m. show. So on our website is the easiest way for you to keep. A lot of people ask me, hey, is there somewhere I can go to find out where all of your events are?
And I already dropped that in there for them earlier.
Okay. And then they also ask, like, what about topics? Yeah, we might start adding that to my website, but TheRealMonicaAdams.com, and then click on the calendar of events. And then lastly, on June 21st, which we showed you earlier, we will be at Dude's Playground for the big poker run, which I've never been a part of. Yes. What car are you bringing out?
I am actually riding in one of Richard's, I think it's his brother's car.
Oh, look at you, lucky duck.
I know.
We'll
Richard,
be on the Harley.
I'll respond to your text message today too, I promise.
Yeah, he got exciting things they've got.
He does.
T-shirts.
He is working so hard, and I am so excited for everything that he's doing, and all his hard work is definitely going to pay off.
I'm so proud, and it's going to be epic, as he keeps saying. And they're selling tickets right now, by the way, and he said that they're going really well. So that's the rundown of some things that we have, but I've got several other that I'm working on just to fill in the summer. Let's get outside. Let's do festivals. It can be anywhere. If you want a mobile Monica to be at your business, then you can reach out to me, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. We will come and bring our show to you and be a part of your business. Bring thousands to your business, thousands of eyes, and then tons of people who love to come in person and have a good time. Let's just make it huge. I remember the one we did at Just Be Kind Cafe, which was my 300th show. 10,000 people have viewed that show, but there were bands. There were, I mean,
wasn't there a marching band?
There was a band. There were
their high school,
certain kind of high school clubs that were there.
Yeah,
football team, people, cheerleaders.
So fun.
We had vendors. Yes. She was all about. Marianne, I love you. She was all about giving back to the community.
That's awesome.
And that's
I grew up in Eureka, and Eureka would be a great town.
I know.
I
want to do a takeover
together like that, and everything is so cute.
I'm going to have her tasked with reaching out. She wants to reach out to Eureka, and she also wants to send us off to the Lake of the Ozarks.
Lake of the Ozarks and Cottleville.
Well, yeah, we love Cottleville. We've been working on Cottleville for a while now. Let me look over here on Instagram real quick. Jennifer, I don't know if she signed off already, but anyway, Jay Bloom. So I've mentioned a lot. I know I've thrown a lot into you. Before we wrap up, when I say perception, what do you think of? And do you feel a positive side when I say the word perception, or do you get perception and get a weird feeling?
I get a weird feeling because I think it's just, it creates so many issues sometimes.
It has. And so whether it's from a business standpoint, it's been a personal standpoint, perception has been around me for about a month and a half now of, well, that's not what I said. That's not what I meant. So by the way, when you all do this and you send a text, stop it. Get on the phone or have that person get in front of you, because they'll come back and say, well, you really hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
I've always told you since we started the show, that's not true. They can't hurt your feelings. They don't have that kind of power unless you give it to them. Yes, you might feel a sting of something.
Sure.
But in the end, they didn't do it as far as them hurting you. You allowed the hurt to happen. Yes, you might be frustrated with what they said in a text, but sometimes they say, that's not what I meant.
Yeah.
So there is no feeling and emotion in the text, but it's also of how people speak. And I'm just very big on this or this. In-person communication. What about all of you? In-person communication. Calling on the phone would be the second best, but in-person would be first. Text message, emails. I think it's a cop-out. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you have to be able to set those boundaries there. Like if you know that this is a situation or you've had a conversation in the past that it could be mistaken, then just make the phone call.
Right.
So you avoid that.
I want to go in depth on this because, again, this is not the subject matter of what you're seeing on today's title. So I just wanted to sprinkle it in. But let's pick a day to talk about perception and to get a lot of you interacting with us, because I think it creates a lot of problems with friendships. It creates problems with bosses and their employees. I mean, it really affects everybody. I don't care whether you're young or old.
Just ruined it. That people don't even talk anymore.
Well, and that's the thing. You're right, Jenny. Complete friendships have ended because they said, that's what you meant? Oh my gosh. And all of a sudden what I hope is that the friendship comes back together. But it also happens in families where suddenly siblings don't talk or children don't talk to their parents.
Yeah.
Right. So we've got to table this one. Richard said, I'm on my third marriage. I do not get my feelings hurt. Thank you for being so real. I love you. I just love his authenticity. Okay. So we're going to wrap up and I'm going to pick one of these books. So what are you feeling, Jenny? Do you want to do it by title or color?
Is there a depression one?
Yes, depression.
Let's do it.
Look at you. Yep. The orange one we haven't picked in a while.
Bright and orange.
We said, hold on. I love to be real. So we said this morning that unfortunately depression is on the rise, and I really find it interesting. So now I want to dig deep into why. So we're going to give you freedom from it. We're on day 30, 100 days to freedom from depression. We'll wrap up the show next.
I just want to say I had an absolutely amazing time getting together with you and talking about how everybody can make a day just a little bit better than it was yesterday. You're doing tremendous things. I just love the spirit in which you want to help those around you and help your community. You've always been like that. What a great time. What a great show. I love our fellowship. I look forward to doing more with you in the future and checking out a few of these churches and seeing where our paths are going to cross and what kind of fun and entertainment and love we can bring to the table. I love this and I think you're doing a killer job. So love you.
Well, thanks again for tuning in to another edition of The Real Monica Adams Show. So now you can share, make sure you are following our pages, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube. I've been putting some shorts together, so you can check those out as well if you don't get a chance to watch the entire show. But if it intrigues you, you can then click on the entire long format. I know some people have the short attention span, so we're making shorts, more reels, more stories. We're also on Instagram, but that show, unfortunately, as soon as Instagram ends, it goes away. The other ones stick around on Facebook Facebook and YouTube, on X, on Rumble, and on LinkedIn. So if you are on Instagram and you're like, hey, I missed the beginning of the show, you'll have to go to some of the other platforms because it does disappear right after the show. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll look at comments that come in on a replay. So do a little hashtag replay for us. Jenny's dropping in everything that I had mentioned earlier about where we're going to be for our Mobile Monicas coming up over the next couple of months. And we picked 100 Days to Freedom from Depression. These books, by the way, are from Stephen Arterburn. This is day 30 of 100 Days of Freedom from Depression. Persist in the silence. Will you do nothing after seeing these things, O Lord? Will you keep quiet and make us suffer even more? Isaiah 64, verse 12. Sometimes God seems silent. We find ourselves in a trial and we feel we've done everything we're supposed to do. Yet when we cry out to God, we hear no answer in return. And that's when people get really upset. They feel so isolated and alone. In the book of Job, we read about a man whose life was disrupted by a series of tragedies. And Job went to God, cried out, and asked for an explanation. He kept asking for 37 chapters. Some of us can relate. We've asked God for any number of things, but we feel like he's not hearing us. We might think he's ignoring us, and we wonder why. Maybe our requests don't seem at all extravagant. Maybe they're practical, a financial need, an employment need, a need for some type of healing. Why would God be silent for those types of requests? Why wouldn't he answer us? If we're not careful, we can start to doubt God and will provide or that there is a God. How can we avoid those traps? Well, let me give you some suggestions here. Look inward, folks. What's my motive for making this request? Is there anything or any person I would want more than I want God? Accept that God is sovereign. God does not owe us any explanation. Listen for God. Boy, that was a huge message at Easter Mass, all about how many times it's so silent. It's a whisper, but it's a conversation just between God and you. It's so quiet. Do you miss the whispers? Has he already answered? Maybe you didn't hear him, or maybe you didn't like his response. Keep asking, but do so with a surrendered heart. Job was persistent. God honored his honest questioning. God has been in control. He continues to be in control and will always be in control. Remember that. He heard Job each time Job asked for help. He hears us every time we ask for help. We can trust him even when he's silent. Our lives are not our own. Therefore, we must accept God's will regardless of how it feels. If God's silent, there's a reason. If no signs from heaven are available, know and understand that there is a very good reason for this as well. Rick Warren said the instructor is always silent when the test is given. Think about that in school. When God is silent in your life, you're being tested. And he's doing his work, though, even in the silence. Helen Keller said, I believe that God is in me as the sun is the color and fragrance of a flower, the light in my darkness, the voice is my silence. Oh, I got to chill on that one. Today's prayer, merciful Father, I want to be relieved of depression and everything that comes with it. I know that one day I will be healed, but while I'm waiting, please be near me in my weakness. Fill me with joy and peace that I know only comes from you. Amen to that. And with the rise of depression, I hope just hearing that helps you a little bit. You're not alone in this. Evidently, there's a lot of people that are feeling the same way as you do. So this day and every day, I do hope that we give you a little inspiration and hope and motivation and light to lift you up. And don't weigh heavily on your heart with the negativity that's going on in the world. Tomorrow, we will get into our Wellness Wednesday. We've got another show for you as we get ready to go from spring to summer, and we're getting our beach bodies ready, or at least sleeveless days ready. Last week, we talked about hamstrings. And if you didn't see that, go back and look about how tight those hamstrings can be and how it can affect your back. We also, 2 weeks ago, had a lady that wanted to know about the waving arms, right? To work the triceps. Is there something I can do for you? If so, email me, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. Let me know what part of the body you want me to work on. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about when you have nothing at all, what can you do with just your body? Right? It's one body that we work and you need to take care of, by the way. So your own body weight resistance. There's a lot of work that can be done. And we're going to do that for you tomorrow on a Wellness Wednesday. So thank you all, as I always say, for tuning in. Remember to do the greatest thing you can do in life, and that is to show kindness to another human being. God bless you all. See you tomorrow morning.